Hey guys, it's the second last week of my spinal rehabilitation. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the impacts, especially psychological, some philosophical stuff of the accident, and basically my last week here in the spinal unit. A fair bit of stuff's happened as I look back, so I'll talk about some of that. Hopefully there's not too much wind noise. The bird singing is hopefully not too distracting. Yeah, this is basically, since this accident, it's the only time I've spent a night in the hospital apart from one night within the operation, and yeah, I've really blown it out of the water now. Anyway, yeah, so obviously the main problem, obvious thing with my health is that I don't have any motor function below the waist, so I can't move my legs. But there's also bowel and bladder problems, sexual function is a drama. And also one thing that I really I'm feeling a bit down about this week is I think having knocked my head in the accident, it's caused me to lose my sense of smell. I smelled some rosemary before when I was wheeling around the hospital, and it smelled the same as when I put my face mask on, so I don't think that's, I think I'm missing something there. So yeah, my week started on Monday. I got up and took a cab out to the other hospital and had some dental work done. I scraped my teeth here, and I had an old filling there that was needed a bit of work, so they did a really good job there. And Mum suggested that I try the buses, so I actually wheeled all the way down to the nearest ATM because I hadn't got any cash. I've not even seen my wallet for 2 weeks at one point here, and I didn't even notice. So I went to get some cash, which involved a lot of like road crossings. It was a bit out of the way, but I finally got back and I waved to the bus driver. He was across the road. He waited till I crossed, jumped on, and he didn't want me to pay anyway. So anyway, that was a good experience. First time on the bus. We're actually going to try it out with the transitions crew, like the guys who do real life stuff with you. But after that, they're like, oh, he's done it already, we don't need to worry. So yeah, that was a tiny little milestone. They just put a ramp down for you. It's a piece of cake, really. Yeah, later that day I cooked lunch for myself, as I've done a few times in that unit at transitions, and there I really felt disabled because like all the side of my face and ear and everything was numb from the dental surgery. I couldn't taste anything. I was just chewing this food, like what the hell. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so I had a call later that day from one of the guys. I've had heaps of people on social media give me encouragement, but a lot of people with spinal issues get in touch as well, and had a chat about the possibility of stem cell therapy to get some function back. It's something I'm not considering in the short term, but maybe, I mean, there's a lot of things that will take a long time to get integrated into health if they, you know, seem like a good idea in the end. And yeah, it might be interesting to look into some of that stuff in the future, but it's kind of more a curiosity thing, really. I mean, obviously it'd be good to get some function back, but yeah, I don't want to have everything banked on the fact that I can get function back, but I also don't want to lock myself into just being in a wheelchair and forgetting about it. So I've got to, you know, keep one ear open, or not give up on trying to get further function back. So yeah, so another thing, I do catheters, so I don't have any feeling whether my bladder's full or not. It kind of feels full at the moment, but sometimes that might mean a number 2 rather than number 1, or I don't even know if it's early days. I'm trying to get used to all these signals that my body's telling me. But there was one morning where I don't really know what was different, but I did 700 mils urine in the morning, which is a lot more than you're supposed to. 400 and something is good. And yeah, it's one of those weird things, but generally that's been good and a piece of cake. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it's not too bad. I was talking to so the next day I got an x-ray, and I was talking to the woman there, and saying that when I sneezed I had a bit of a urine leak. It's a bit disgusting and inconvenient. This is supposed to be just a philosophy thing, but anyway, she was like, oh, she had the same problem because after having kids with after marrying a front rower, it's a lot of people have these kind of problems, so something I never used to have to worry about. What else was I going to say? Oh, I managed to book airfares this week for some of my girlfriends coming in a month. That'll be good. Really expensive at the moment. Post-COVID, everyone wants to travel. I guess that's why there's been a few more injuries than usual in the Alps this year, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm happy I'm still alive. The other big drama that's probably been the main reason I couldn't discharge early, apart from the fact we had late notice, is the wheelchair scripting. So I've got to decide on exactly what size wheels I want and all these other little dramas, which doesn't worry me that much, but it might after several months or however long on the chair. Some things might get annoying. So yeah, I've come up with a few bunch of points, and yeah, that's something that we're dealing with. Commode is kind of like a wheelchair, but something you just take in to sit over the top of the toilet and in the shower. I'm definitely not getting one of those. I'm a kind of I like keeping things simple. And I was talking to one of the transitions guys, and he's saying it kind of keeps you disabled. Like it's basically like you need something special. And I was saying, yeah, it's like when people want to say they've got some kind of condition when they go to the hospital and they go, oh, I've got this or I've got that, and instead of just saying that, I don't know, instead of dealing with it, you say, well, I've got this, so you guys deal with that, and I need special treatment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that right, but yeah, a commode is a huge, big, lumpy thing that you don't want to have to deal with in your life. So I'm getting a padded seat which sits on top of the toilet, which I can reach under, and even that seems like way more drama than I need. I should be able to transfer straight into the toilet seat. The problem is with all the muscle mass or fat or whatever missing from my waist since it's inactive. I've got this bony ass, and when I sit on the toilet my legs get squished together, which makes things a little inconvenient. What else? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit sick of spending time in the hospital. Having nurses always want to help you all the time. Like the other morning I got asked so many times if I wanted a towel. I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'll get it myself. The fact that you can't have the window open at night, it just gets hot at 4 in the morning with the heating, and I've even had like a sheet and the fan on sometimes. Usually it's not too bad, but yeah, I do like fresh air and natural light and that kind of stuff, and just not having to, yeah, there's going to be some definite pluses of not being in hospital anymore. Yeah, one thing is that I sort of wheel around, you know, to go to the toilet to do the catheter and all that, and I just chuck a pillow on my lap and I'm naked. And one of the nurses, she actually joked that didn't recognise you with your clothes on one time. So yeah, anyway, another thing we did during the week with the transitions guys is did a push through town, and yeah, one of the physios who taught me a lot of good things. I think he might have said that I was one of the best in terms of wheelchair skills that he's seen, or I don't know, he was happy anyway. So it's nothing too serious, but just, you know, pushing around and going down slopes. I've done a few funny things. Like this week I thought, oh, I should do stairs, because you can sort of wiggle your way upstairs, like going diagonally back and forth. I don't have any footage unfortunately, but yeah, the physio who knows all about that got me to do that. It was bloody hard work actually, so I only did it once. I might have another crack in this last week though, I definitely should. But yeah, you can go up and down the stairs with facing down, with your back down the stairs. So you're going backwards when you go down. And yeah, going down it can look bloody scary if the physio does it. He does it 100 knots. But I should be careful not to do that in case my foot comes off. I could cause a bit of damage because I can't feel it. Another thing we did was watch a tetraplegic, so he's had a high breakup somewhere around there, and but he's pretty lean, and he can do transfers himself. Like, well, he didn't onto his harness, so he's got a powered paraglider. He's built a rig for him himself, and he can only launch when the winds are really light, so there's not a huge amount of control, but once you're in there, it's no worries. And yeah, he had a little flight, and I don't think it's something that I would get into. It just, with the amount of drum you need to get set up, he might as well go gliding, because then you get better performance. But it's fantastic that he's doing it. And one of the transitions guys was getting pretty excited about it and thought maybe this isn't so bad, and seemed, I wonder if he'll have a go actually. Yeah, and often after the busy daily schedule, well, it's not so bad now, it's the weekend, but yeah, lie on my belly, and that can be a lot of a stretch. It's the weirdest thing, because for me, incidental exercise is basically the only form of exercise I get, and I used to get plenty of it, but yeah, when you can't move your legs, you don't really get that, and yeah, just lying on your belly can be a bit of a stretch. The other thing that I tried is Viagra. That is so not me. I don't like taking pills for anything, and yeah, it's exceptional circumstances now. Anyway, it doesn't work, so I'll have to think of something else, but yeah, that's one part that I'll miss a bit. So that was my week. Basically, I was gonna talk, I've got some notes here, I don't know if I showed them before, but yeah, I've had so many things to talk about, I thought I should do this and see if we can do it in a single take. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to be able to go walking anymore and do the kind of holidays that I did where I was scrambling in the hills, sleeping under rocks. Paragliding is not the most applicable thing for me anymore, because for me the biggest advantage is that I could be completely independent, take off and land anywhere, and I can't do that anymore. But in the gliding club that I was involved with in France, they already had paraplegic pilots, and all you need is an aircraft that's modified to have hand controls instead of your feet pushing the rudder. So yeah, that shows a lot of promise. I mean, basically I'm going to have no disadvantage to other glider pilots really. And the other thing is rafting. So I've been pack rafting for years, got it with my brother. We got one pack raft each nearly a decade ago, and it's a beautiful way to explore. I can't do portage, so hiking past the difficult parts like a gorge or whatever, but I never used to really enjoy that anyway. And yeah, it's kind of more sociable than paragliding. Well, at least the way I used to do paragliding, I was on my own all the time. And yeah, rafting, I think I might try and avoid doing trips on my own. Well, I guess I can if I'm somewhere really straightforward, but anyway, it's more fun with someone else. Back on the psychology, so I don't really have a lot of decision regret about what happened on the day, because I'm not really sure. I can't put a finger on any specific thing that caused the accident. I was going to do a video about this. Hamid, who was flying and saw the accident from a distance, has put together a video where he's working on it, and there's a couple of other guys I wanted to talk to. So hopefully there'll be more coming, but basically it seemed like a really nice day. I was flying with friends, there was no competition pressure, or I wasn't being stupid or anything like that. I was a little bit worried just before the accident, because I could see in my last video footage that I was like, oh, it's getting a bit rough, so I would have been alert, but I mean that was pretty normal that I would be watching out for conditions like that. I was super comfortable with the wing. I've been flying it for, I don't know, many hours in the last month or so, and I was really comfortable with how it behaved in extreme air conditions. And I don't think it was, I mean, I don't remember the actual extreme air part, so yeah. And the location, it's really like the paradise for free flying in the world, so it wasn't like it. I'm kind of lucky that it happened in a place where there was such good medical care close by. What else? Yeah, conditions, I was current. Yeah, so I can't really put a finger on a decision that I made that caused the accident, apart from just paragliding in general, which overall has been a good thing in my life. And because I don't remember the actual accident, I can't really have any psychological damage from it, but I guess that doesn't mean I'm going to start paragliding again, but if I had my full health back, I probably would. But it all just depends on your situation. Like, there's so many things. Like, part of the reason I went traveling all over the world several times is because I'm like, well, I'm single, I don't have a commitment, I can quit my, I can come back to my job or quit it or whatever. And so why not? Let's do it. But that's not like the only thing that I ever wanted to do. What else? Oh yeah, my philosophy was always to see the world while I can. So that's partly when you got your health, which ended up being pretty pertinent. When you can afford it, when the political conditions allow. Like, a lot of places, they get a lot harder to travel. Well, even the pandemic's shut down travel for a while, or it's made it a lot more difficult even now. Climate change, like, you got to see the things before they aren't there anymore, and the weather patterns are changing, and yeah, lots of drama. And just the fact that I was single and I didn't have a family. And yeah, one thing that has changed since I had the accident has been my independence. Obviously, I've been completely dependent on this great medical care in these countries that have taken care of me. Used to not ever even go to the pharmacy. And the other thing is consumption. I used to basically live on bare bones and just spend nothing to keep me alive. But here you just get the nurses bringing you buckets full of towels and all this packaging and bullshit with there's so much waste in hospitals. But yeah, I kind of just sat back from that and not thought about it, and I should get a little bit back to my old self once we leave here. And yeah, when I had the accident, I was basically, just trying to sleep and take care of myself, or not take care of myself, but survive. And I didn't have any headspace for thinking about anything else initially. And then I started to think a little bit more about other things, but I didn't plan to the future and all that kind of stuff. And now I've sort of got enough time to sort of start thinking about the future and things other than myself. So yeah, what was I going to say there? Since I'm almost 3 months next week after the accident, I'm hoping I'll still recover, but I shouldn't bank on that. So I should think of any further function I get back as a bonus. And yeah, basically the part of what makes you happy is being able to give to others. So it's been kind of funny that after the accident I've had way more popularity on social media than before the accident. And it's great that, like, people are getting something out of these posts, and in that, like, it's actually a bit of a, I know probably there's a bunch of people who are careful to emotionally trigger me or whatever, because I'm in this terrible situation. And for sure it sucks, but on the other hand, actually I was always thinking that this is a possibility and that's just the way it is. Obviously, I mean, not that I thought it would happen, but it was always a possibility. And yeah, there's been so many good things to come out of this, and I've just been really happy that I've had such a good run before it's happened. And this is probably going to open up new possibilities. So it's not really a positive, but if you look at it that way, then yeah, you've got to see the positive side anyway. Alright, I was going to finish with some deep quote, but I haven't got the wording right, and it's bloody long already for a single take. That's incredible. I wonder if it'll fit on my phone, but yeah, that'll do it. Love you guys. See you next time.